James, and we're into the Revised Version, but not all of them. So in the early 70s, the NIV comes out, and now we start flooding churches with fake Bibles, altered words of God, bringing in damnable heresies and doctrines of devils right inside the church. No one's saying anything. Well, very few people are saying anything about it. And just prior to that, you had the assassination of a American president that looks a lot like the murder of Hiram Abiff. You had a ceremony in the Vatican, according to Malachi Martin. The enthronement ceremony of the fallen angel Lucifer, 1963, that happened. By the way, incidentally, in 1963, Supreme Court rules, prayer can no longer, you cannot make kids pray in school. So you go back and look at what happened, not just in America, but in the world since 1963. You go back and look at TV shows before 63 and after, you're going to see a difference. Go look at men's hairstyles before 63, after 63, women's hairstyles before, after, women's dress before and after 63. You get it. I remember watching an episode of Dragnet, 1968. And Jack Webb is talking about the ills that are invading the youth of Los Angeles, and he mentions homosexuality as one of those evil, terrible things that's invading the youth of Los Angeles. 1968. 1972, Archie Bunker comes up, and now we've got queer everything all over the... 5 years is all it took. 5 years. And so simultaneously, we have Archie Bunker, we have Maude, we have all these shows now that are liberalizing the morality of America because of the hippie generation. And then coincidentally, we have new Bibles that are replacing the old authorized Bible out of churches. And I'm telling you what, we're living now in a world right now, 2013, and the owls are everywhere in Babylon. They're all over the place. Let me put this up on the screen. I had this queued up for Tuesday and never got a chance to read it. This is, oh, you know what? I can't even read that up on the screen. Toronto, the head of whatever, going to introduce new curriculum into the schools up in Canada. And this guy, gal, whatever, a Nazi lesbian feminist, is going to make sure that young children, young ones, very, very young boys and girls, are going to be given very precise lessons on how to fornicate. And it's okay if you're a girl. It's okay if you like another girl. In fact, she probably liked you first. And then this story that just absolutely, it made me mad. WorldNet Daily's featured it. There's been some other places. Outraged parents say in New York middle school, depending on where you go, that's probably 6th, 7th, 8th grade, somewhere around in there. It's a little bit past elementary. When you get like from 5th grade, in 5th grade, of course the girls always mature faster than the boys. It's funny when you look at the 2nd grade kids. The boys are, about 2 inches taller than the girls. You get into the 5th and 6th grade, and you got girls that are 7 feet tall and boys that are still 3 feet tall. It's hilarious. But you start getting them at that age where the change starts taking place in their mind, their body, and everything else. New York middle school instructed young female students to ask one another for a lesbian kiss. Boys had to learn how to spot young, and the word is sluts. That's the word that's here. In an anti-bullying presentation on gender identity and sexual disorientation, According to Fox News' Todd Starnes. According to Starnes' report, the children attended a special April 11th health class, health education. Boy, you gotta love it. Taught by college students. Because we know college students know a lot about morality. Taught by college students at Linden Avenue Mental School in Red Hook, New York. Parents say they were not notified of the presentation. Well, duh. You were not going to get a letter home saying, on Thursday now, when you send your daughter to school, she's going to be learning how to kiss other girls on the mouth. Have a nice day. The students were introduced to terms such as pansexual. Pansexual means that you pan from one orientation to another. You just move around, whichever one feels good that day. And genderqueer. Instead of gender male, gender female, now it's genderqueer. Some of the young female students said they were told it was common for 14-year-old girls to have sex and their parents couldn't stop them. Hey, that sounds like Tony Jones. See what happened when you pulled the Bible out of churches, everybody? You call me crazy? You call me insane because I want to stick with the Bible that saved our country repeatedly and brought revival to churches all over the world? You want to pick at me for wanting to hang on to this book when they changed the Bibles? That's what produced Tony Jones. Mandy Kuhn, a mother of an 8th grade student, said, I am furious. I am her parent. Where does anyone get the right to tell her that it's okay for her to have sex? According to Fox News, Kuhn said her daughter was distressed by the presentation and wondered why she had been required to ask another girl to kiss her. She told me, Mom, we all get teased and picked on enough. Now I'm going to be called a lesbian because I had to ask another girl if I could kiss her. According to the mother, the school said the lesson was meant to, quote, teach girls boundaries and how to say it. Baloney. Baloney. That's not what it was for. Because all the sodomites know, including, now, not just the sodomites, all the pedophiles know, that the younger that you can get the kids hooked into it, the easier it is down the road. That's what they're targeting. That's what they're going at. Go read Genesis 18 and 19. Go read Genesis 19 about how the men of Sodom, both old and young boys, they had accompanying them to go after those 2 angels in Lot's house. Doesn't anybody know that there is now, has been an agenda in this country, around the world? You poor people in the Netherlands, you've had to put up with this for years. Well, now it's coming to America, which would have been the last holdout for morality in the world. Now we don't have it anymore. They also picked 2 girls to stand in front of the class and pretend they were lesbians on a date. The Poughkeepsie Journal reported that Red Hook Central School District Superintendent Paul Finch said the class focused on, quote, improving culture, relationships, communication, and self-perceptions. And he also said that we're just trying to make good queers out of them. He didn't really say that. That's what's there. Finch said it's mandatory that the middle school teach those issues in accordance with the state's Dignity for All Students Act. Now, here it is right here. This is what they've done. They've taken the law and they've used it to their advantage. See, what's happening is kids are getting bullied. Now, I admitted last night in church that I had a pretty low self-esteem and I got bullied. I got bullied. And bless God, my mom, I'd go running home to Mom. Mom would say, you know what? You need to turn around and pop that kid in the head. That's what my mom told me. And, but now we have a culture, and see, the sodomites have created this. And it sounds good. Kids shouldn't be bullied. They shouldn't be bullied in school. They shouldn't be bullied in school. I agree. But see, it's not about the normal kids being bullied. It was a setup. Are you ready for this? It was a setup to establish a protection for transgendered, lesbian, bis, homos, you name it, a whole sodomite group, race, the whole sodomite race. It was a setup to protect them from anybody, students, bus drivers, teachers, parents, ministers, from saying that it's wrong for a teenage boy to lie with another teenage boy. It's an abomination. Now I'm bullying them because I'm telling them that what they're doing is wrong and evil and bad, and I'm making them feel bad. And I'm evil because I'm telling them they're going to hell. Ah! Hoggard, you bully. So one of these days, guys, we're going to get turned in. We're going to get turned in. My son Matthew been pretty vocal at school, and he's got some people that don't like him a lot. And at some point, your kid, my kid, everybody else's kid's going to get bullied. They're going to get turned in for saying that sodomy is a sin. It's wrong. Not supposed to be that way. They're going to get turned in. That's the beginning of the persecuted church of the last days. Do we really? Now, I don't want to mess with anybody's eschatology. But do we really still believe that we're going to get out of here clean without having any persecution against us at all? Do we really believe that anymore? I don't. I can see it coming, people. I can see. And if the Lord tarries his coming, they're coming after us because Jezebel doesn't like Naboth. Potiphar's wife doesn't like Joseph anymore. Going to have him thrown in prison. Mark my word, it's coming. It goes on and on. They were teaching middle school students, giving them lessons on protection. I'll say that. There's some words I don't like to say it. I was absolutely furious, said one parent of a 13-year-old boy. They were teaching the boys how to decipher if a girl is a slut, which in Bible terms means harlot. That's what trying to figure out if she is or not. Babylon is here. The owls have moved in. Let's look at some scripture here. Where do I want to start?